unprecedented amount of millionaires and billionaires. I mean, if you look at how many millionaires and billionaires we have now, it's unprecedented, possibly in human history. Which means that in order to have millionaires and billionaires, workers are producing. But when you look at the increases in salary, commensurate with what the production of this wealth is, workers' salaries, like for example in the US where I am now.
Break, and when we come back, we want to dive deep into the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling and what that means for Belizean and Caribbean workers, and then we want to dig up some more about the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by BTL and why in this time and moment one group like the Belize Communication Workers for Justice group matter right now, and why it's important that every single Belizean, regardless of the age, ought to be paying attention, being active listeners, asking questions, think for yourself. And this could be a reset moment that we have to hold the government of Belize accountable for being consistently transparent when it comes to workers' rights. First break, stay tuned this morning. We guests are Sister Emily Turner, Sister Christine Perriott, Brother Glenfield Dennison, and of course, co-host of Brother Mutota and me. Break time.
We recently formed MOUs with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, which is the education arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and also with the American Culinary Federation to do culinary training. We're here to celebrate our accomplishments. And this is not about replacing Belizean cuisine. This is about, we want the Belizean cuisine, we want the Belizean richness and diversity, right? So this is about your skills. You all know what you all learned, so it's about transferring that skill.
We want to inspire this career because, you know, it's amazing. You love what you do, right? And it really is something that I think we can inspire other young Belizeans to undertake. And it's now part of your responsibility as those who have received this training and see a pathway for greater things.
Just to put it into perspective, there's only about 6,000 certified executive chefs in North America. There is only 69 certified master chefs in the world. There is less than 10 certified executive pastry chefs in this entire world. And now in Belize, we have 3 sitting in this room.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures, customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less.
Forward to have on reasoning with former BTL employees, 2 other representatives, and the Senator for Labor work.
I do want to set the foundation of what is the severance pay. The work in trade unionism. Severance is not something we go and we negotiate and say, well, give me this percentage or give me that, no. It's something. Severance is a legal protection that is built in our stone end. Then what the law is saying is that the worker must receive financial protection so that they can transition back into society. And so in simple terms, severance is a worker's economic landing cushion after employment ends. And we want to use that word cushion because it goes back to, I think we discussed a little bit about the labor law being a social justice protection act. And basically what severance is set up, it is set up in our laws to give us a cushion. And a lot of times we qualify for severance when we have served a company for more than 10 years, or you served so long that you ended up retiring from that company. And so it really prevents workers from becoming immediately poor. And I think that's so important. It's so important. the severance is set up so that when you stop work, when you don't give your whole life, you're not going to become poor because you have given decades of service. And I really want to stretch that severance is because you have served the company. I believe that a lot of those years that we toil and we work in an organization is a sweat investment we make. And many years after we have left, that company will continue benefiting from those either the ideas, or if you trench like we have to get in a manhole and you had to dig things out, or you had to pull cable for put it underground or put it overhead. That's your sweat investment that you leave behind for that organization to continue making profits. And so a piece of it that the CCJ then said, I will interpret these severance provisions that are in your labor law, because these group of people, 15 people, are the people, former employees of BTL, that decided that they would take this and challenge this thing that BTL was saying, no, you get a pension, you do not qualify for a severance. And so, there are different sections in the labor law, and it sets out what then qualifies you for severance. And severance is in section 183 of that labor act, and the provisions, and it goes on to describe, you work for 5 to 10 years, you earn severance. You work for 10 plus years, you earn severance. If you retire, earn severance. You work for 10 plus years, you earn severance. If you retire, that qualifies.
What are the difference between
social justice protection? So, social justice protection. So, there is no regular severance. It is something like what Sister Emily was saying, that long-term workers are entitled to. So, it's not something, like she said, a gift or an obligation that you could kind of consider would be regular. It's straight out a statutory obligation that becomes liable with employer on the date of cessation, meaning the day your employment ends. So every worker, while you're working, is like they have the employer to put aside at least savings for in order to defer some money while in work. So for every year they put aside a little amount of money. They put a little amount until they grow. That's kind of what Emily was expressing as well. That severance is 5 years, 10 years, and 10 years or more. It's like money's been set aside for you for that when you end. When your date of employment end, you just go out there and go like, oh my gosh, I'm so used to the work so long, because it does happen. People work for 10, 11 years. They're used to this system, going to work 8 to 5, doing a certain type of job. And then when that ends, especially when it's ended without you asking for it, it's like you're thrown out in the blues. And the severance, which is statutory, becomes the social justice protection to give you that little cushion to help you along the way to either find another job, go get retrained, or equip yourself further, or something like that. So to answer your question, there is only a statutory severance.
And what statutory mean?
With that, they also extended to where you can have a little cushion for going out. So this is for every worker to choose that they want to work and to earn and to live a life as how they want.
Respect. And last question for me, Brother Glenfield. Now, I never know that every country have that in the constitution. So when I go and check, like for the United States, I know somebody who they work for the Washington Post, about 300 and then get terminated. But according to AI, I mean, I don't know if that's true, it said that in the US,
That's what it says on my birth paper, right? His occupation, carpenter. And he comes from a family of woodworkers. They make zericote ornaments and so on, and sell them. What he did before he went into BTL. When he left BTL, I have a vivid memory that, you collect money. So what did he do? Money man gone, he buy a bandsaw, buy a planer, buy a jointer, and he built a workshop. So severance, in the simplest form, is like a token of appreciation that's given to you by your employer to safeguard you when they sever the relationship, right? Remember, you go to work every day without having to think, will I have a job tomorrow? Will I have a job next week? Will I have a job the week after next? This is why people start to do things. It's that sense of security that you get from job security that allows you to go and take out a mortgage, to go and take out loans for whatever you wish to take out a loan for. And if at one point abruptly you are no longer getting the income that you had projected when you took out that mortgage, the feces will hit the ventilation apparatus if you don't have money to carry you into next month and a month after that. So severance was a statutory law, and statutory obligation. Statute just mean it's a law. So in our Labor Act, the framers of the Act recognize that in our Belizean context, employers will have weight you have on when you're on the lamppost connecting wires. And so there's a correlation between the older you're getting and your ability to do that type of labor-intensive work. And so the employer, so because of that, you will be less employable or less attractive to an employer when you're 45. And so having given, if you started at 20, having given 25 years of your life to a certain employer, the law builds in a protection for you if that employer at 45 decides to say, here we go, and we're going back to the slave mill days, and we want a 21-year-old man now to do this job because you, sir, you're just too old, and the slave mill is still real, and we're going to put you out to pasture, goodbye, you're redundant, and I need somebody younger to come do this job. Because we have to be clear, corporate does that. Corporate sees people as dispensable, disposable, and just replaceable. And you can understand the logic of it, because pulling cable is in fact a young, strong man's job, where workers need to have, I like the word cushion, but the cushion now I leave money. Like we have a talk it how it is, right? Now I leave money for your land plan. And in the labor law, it ties it before a certain period, 2011, to 2 weeks of pay, that sort of thing, so that you have a great idea in your head that if I work 25 years, when tomorrow I don't have a job, I will have a bucket of money that can last me and hold me over, or that I can invest in something to shift and pivot life after I've given 25 years to this one company. So in my mind, severance is a responsibility on the employer to make sure that they don't act in a way that will be detrimental to an employee after they don't serve and just throw them away. No, you have to then give them that money, and that money is the only value exchange that you can give after you have arthritis and can't pull line anymore. But that's the exchange that we have. So they give you this money, or they're supposed to give you this money, so that you can work and build your life after the employment. As it really, because we said all of that, it's a statutory obligation. It's in the law. So it would be on each parliament, each government understanding its own society and deciding how they want to, whether or not they want to safeguard their workers, or just go on the side of the capitalists and insert that protection into their law, right? The Sistah tied it to the Constitution, and that's correct. If you look at the constitutional context that we had, that law is in conformity with the ideals in the Constitution. And so I think it's important for us to recognize our little victories as a country and as workers in a small region like the Caribbean. I want to highlight here that it's not only the fact that we have the law on the record, but that we now have Caribbean jurisprudence on the interpretation of that section. Because when the CCJ rules, it's not only us, it's all the other countries that are a part of the CCJ regime in the appellate jurisdiction that can now benefit from this right. So this is just a ripple, but it's gonna spread. And so this discussion is not for BTL. If you go to the protest, you will see former BEL workers there going, excuse me, what happened here? And they're going to be entitled. And that ripple will start spreading to the Caribbean soon enough. And I think it's important that we make ourselves available to educate as the time comes, so that people who didn't even know they would have had this right or felt like something was off when it happened could now say that there would have gone. We want to go in line with that CCJ ruling and get that benefit that was due to us. And I go and leave it further, Sister YaYa. When BTL starts to take the spin that no, your statute bar, I start to take the spin that no, BTL, sorry, misunderstand. Owe them people interest on that money now, brother. Because that money from me getting 20 years ago, and 20 years ago, $1,000, that now $20, that now $1,000 now. So me,
for continue this conversation, because we don't know microwave people. We don't fire conversation, because we don't know microwave people. We the fire hot people. We are tech.
Industrial revolution in the UK. Industrial revolution in the UK. You found that children as young as 5 to 6 years were working in mines. This is how the unions emerged, right? I'll just read a bit here, and then you'll understand how this thing evolved. Now, when I was a young man, my uncle worked in the oil field. And they worked on Saturdays. They worked 5 8-hour days on Monday to Friday. And then on Saturdays, they worked half day. I think they were like 46 hours. Right? The unions fought to get a 40-hour work week. Okay? Things like vacation, cost of living allowance is called COLA, C-O-L-A, cost of living allowance, healthcare, and so on. These rights did not exist in the early stages of capitalism. Workers were exploited. I'm going to read something here to understand, right? And I hope I'll have time, right? So, during the Industrial Revolution, roughly 1760 to 1840, children as young as 4 years were working 12 to 16 hours in dangerous factories, textile mills, and mines for minimal or no pay. Exploited for their small size and cheap labor, they faced abuse, severe accidents, and illness. Okay? So in the early 19th century, an act was passed in Britain called the Keating Act. And this, provided some kind of protection for workers and eliminated child labor to some extent. The history of the modern worker has been a history to get rights of workers from capitalist enterprises. Because the capitalists' main purpose was profit, nothing more than profit. So if they could work a worker for 20 hours a day, they would do it and pay you minimal wage. Now in the Caribbean, we didn't have labor relations like the British had. We came from plantation economies. Okay, we were ex-slaves, indentured servants, and so on. So we came from what Lloyd Best called the plantocracy or the plantation economy, and with little or no rights. So if you look at the early Caribbean, you will have found that one of the organizations, the only organization people had that represented their interests in the Caribbean, whether it's in Trinidad, Belize, or Jamaica, was trade unions. That's why a lot of the political parties emerged from trade unions. In Trinidad, we didn't have what is called universal adult suffrage until 1946, I think it was. Okay, what you had was those who were allowed to vote must have property and what the British termed literacy, which eliminated the majority of the population. So our first election was under in 1946. But given this kind of situation, you also had the same sort of exclusion of rights in politics is the same exclusion you had in terms of labor laws. Workers hardly ever had any kind of protection. So this is why in the 1930s, Trinidad in 1937, Barbados shortly after, Jamaica, there was a series of labor revolts in the Caribbean, which was the precursor to our independent movement and to our political parties. Okay? And these movements were fighting for the workers to get more rights, better pay, better working conditions, and so on and so forth. And so this is how our trade unions became so central and so militant in the Caribbean. A lot of what we gain as people in the Caribbean did not come from political parties. We are under the impression that these political parties with their so-called independence gave us these rights. Our rights were engendered and promoted and fought for more by labor unions. Okay, in Jamaica, you had the Jamaica Labor Party, from which the trade union supported. Barbados, Mia Motley's party is the Barbadian Labour Party. In Trinidad, we had the Butler Party, which was a workers' party, right? St. Vincent, all of the Caribbean. And this is an important history to understand in terms of our struggle. These rights that we have as workers were fought for by unions.
Respect.
And what the state has been trying to do is to reverse that. Because the state as we know it is a capitalistic state. Our state does not represent the people. Political parties do not really represent the people. They represent interests. And the people are supposedly every 5 years given opportunity, supposedly to participate in the democratic process. But to some extent, the system is rigged against the working people and ordinary people. And so whenever... I'm out of time?
We were out of time about 5 minutes ago.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll continue. Yeah.
Okay, we have to go to break. Stay tuned.
All right, okay.
We all know the importance of running water and proper drainage in your home. That's why we rely on a fully functional plumbing system. At Benny's, we have all the plumbing supplies and accessories you need. Our pipes, fittings, valves, and adapters are made from durable quality materials. Remember to wash your hands with clean running water from your faucet. We have kitchen and bathroom faucets in various styles and finishes. Whether for installation or maintenance, make sure to use recommended PVC cleaner, solvent, and Teflon tape to fix or prevent leaks. We also have the tools to get the job done. For all your residential, commercial, or industrial plumbing needs, shop at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio, 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
We're handing over approximately $24,000 in pipes, which will be used for expansion purposes, connection to new households that don't have access to water. The San Esteban Village Water Board has about 534 connections, households connected. However, as you know, across this country, the government has been doing a lot of new expansion, and young people, new landowners want to develop. Of course, having access to water is a very key part of them building their homes. So what we did, we worked with the water board and we came up with the materials which we thought would be of a better priority, or higher priority, and more urgency.
The piping will assist the community, and especially for new connections. We know there's sometimes expansions happen in distant places, and then for the owner who needs the connection to be able to finance that entire cost of taking the piping all the way to his place, this will bring a great relief to all those new customers, where the board will be able to provide part of the piping system.
Likewise, we're handing over a brand new Caterpillar generator. As you know, sometimes in the past, when the BL grid goes down, once the system doesn't have a backup power supply or electricity supply, then the water system goes down.
Whatever happens with the national grid or a power outage in our area, the water will continue flowing. Ensuring that we have a steady water supply with good water pressure is what every consumer, every citizen in this country looks forward.
On behalf of the Village Council and the people of San Esteban, I extend our sincere gratitude to the government of Belize.
We believe in this ministry that no matter where you live,
We've got the plumbing and electrical in our store. We've got the paints and the brush and light fixtures. That's for sure. We've got steel, cement, and tiles galore. And so much more. We've got everything in that store. We've got windows and doors just much for plywood and hardwood too. That's for sure. Who's for gardening in the great outdoors? And so much more. We've got everything in that store. We've got variety, everything, quality, everything, quantity, everything. A builder's hardware, variety, everything, quality, everything, quantity, everything. A builder's hardware. We've got the sinks and the tubs and the cabinets in our store. We've got the nuts and the bolts, so don't forget. And so much more. We've got service with a smile. That's for sure. We've got everything in that store. We've got variety, everything, quality, everything, quantity, everything. A builder's hardware, variety, everything, quality, everything, quantity, everything. A builder's hardware. For builders who build with a passion and skill, go to Builders Hardware.
Country bad, love them homeland. We'll never give it up to another nation. This is the week, we the fear. Nobody do it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This is the week, we the fear. Nobody do it to no Guatemala. This is me. My name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. Don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head on the Belize and dollar because patriots. All people who love them country bad, love them homeland. We'll never give it up to another nation.
Review. Time fly when they have fun. I like land and I had land. Sister Christine Perriott, what you could offer we, the listeners, viewers, live streamers, people that listen to Come Radio, from your lived experience in this labor struggle from 2005 was still relevant in 2026?
Well, I want to, and this is no knocking to no men, is what us women can offer to the system. You know, this labor struggle is not like, I say from a woman and more like from a mother's perspective, because, you know, we birth these future workers and we also nurture and educate them. So growing up from with BTL, and if you notice, all the long-term farmer workers, they give a really lifetime, like they start 17, 18, very, very young, and then like fresh out of school, and give them their all for the struggle. And if you notice, many of them are women. You know, they have to cater still for their family. They still have to cater and nurture for the family and bring them up and educate them. And so I feel like this contribution, and I extend it to Emily, because Emily has Sister Emily has a family as well. And this contribution is not only from a male perspective, because I still feel Belize still have a little bit of, you know, men's field, men's work field, men's area, and more look up at the men, and the woman is always taking a back seat and a second role, but you know, it's like to encourage from a woman's perspective. Again, I'm not knocking on the guys, but that's what I feel like my contribution is, that, you know, we're there, we're lioness, we fight for children, we fight, they're going to be future workers, so we fight for the workers, we fight for their future, and that is something that I feel, and I don't know, like what I always say, it sometimes things trigger your passion, and so you hope that you could extend that and bring up continuity, people looking up at you, and you set these examples. So I feel like that's how my contribution brings to this.
Big respect, sister. I never expect the answer there, but the answer potent. Sister Emily.
Before Sister Emily speak,
yes, Barako.
Let me say something. Sister Perriott made twice, she said she's not knocking the men. You don't need to apologize. You don't even, because, you know, we in the Caribbean, our systems were founded on patriarchy. And that patriarchy, this male-dominated world, has impacted both men and women. And I think at times we fail to understand the contribution of our women, which also put them in a situation where psychologically they feel they need to be constantly making this apology. We are human beings. We are
Then I
equal.
take back all my apologies.
That's all right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Big respect. Sister Emily, Belize Communication Workers for Justice come out because BTL not paid any severance, especially after the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling in November 2025. Now, I talk to people out the road regularly. So somebody say, they only look out for their money. Be just like the NBA to you. They only care for their money. When they get for their money, we don't hear nothing else about them. So then I talk to somebody else and the person say, I don't agree with that. Because then they talk about
like something is happening, we have to catch ourselves with this group. We started in a very quiet way. Let's just write BTL together. Let's just try to represent people and make we try help BTL and put all the names in our list. Represent people and make we try help BTL and put all the names in our list so they don't have to be doing this. That was our intention. But as when we saw the January thing where they wanted to do this acquisition, and we were like, wait, no Michael Ashcroft again. Sorry, the individual, not him again in this thing with Belize. Because like Christine and I have been in this together. I was in 2005, 2003, there was the accommodation agreement. Then and when we have all of the history of this, when we found out the accommodation agreement that was set up for Michael Ashcroft, he was supposed to be making 15% a rate of return, and it goes to the history that we have in this thing. So we feel like, all right, so we have the accommodation agreement, then we have the settlement agreement of 2018, that then now he gets all of this amount of money for BTL, for the government having taken over BTL from him. And now we are in 2026 and we're talking about another deal, another thing that we want to set up for this individual. And we said, no, wait. And we are here being diplomats, being nice, being sweet about, just writing these letters, trying to tell everybody, hey, just pay these people, they're older, have some compassion. Because we had done all of it. We've written the Prime Minister, we included the Minister of Labor, the Labor Commissioner, we did all of it. And then boom, January 6th, with a rush go make this $180 million deal, because it's very important that we say that it's $180 million it started. And when you add the legal fees, $200 million. We were like, no. This is not actually happening to us all over again. A third time, I would say, in my work life experience, it's a third time. And I'm saying all of that because I want to lead up to the fact that this group now that has a lot of more experience, and we've seen these things that are happening to us as a society, we said, you know what? We have to come out and talk because we have the experience. We know what BTL is. We know what we have built there. And I think you had mentioned it to us. Well, you mentioned this, Sister YaYa. You said BTL is a real you workers. We will have to check with BWS workers. Do you need to do this? Do you because we know of at least these other companies that have this same situation, pensions set up, and we're all told it's basically erased. Severance is erased by these pensions. But when we started doing all of this, we started hearing about all the injustices because people started seeing the shirts and they started seeing justice. Justice, I think it jumped at a lot of people. And so we go to the immigration border and the immigration officers are talking to us about something, challenges they have. The police officers stop us at the checkpoint to check, they're just doing your routine checks. They start telling us about it. And they start telling you about how their association is set up in such a way that it still goes back to the commissioner of police that is their ultimate boss. So how does that give them any, so, man, I think that, and then our group basically is saying, No, we don't want to go away. We won't go away. We have to stay in this, and I think because we have the experience, and then because I'll put it as a joke. Well, somehow we will need some things for those. So we, we
Nah,
need some things for this because we're over 60 and they are excited about this movement. They're excited about continuing because now that we have worked, you imagine we have worked for 25 years, we have the experience, a lot of things that could happen to you. We have, I think, BTL workers have all the experience of things that can happen in a workplace. And I feel like the group that I'm working with, they want to be able to help that younger generation, all the generations that are right now in the workplace, the ones that haven't even born. Whatever we could do to give back, we want to continue this movement. So I don't think we're going where. I know. Even me, women to be like, okay, I'm being like, no, we're not going away. So
Respect.
I don't think we will go away. I don't see it. We're too passionate about this.
definitely, Sister Emily.
Big thanks, sis. We're almost out of time. We have to get this question in for Breddah Glenfield. We talk about consultancy and transparency. And one of the things that I put forward is that we need to move away from consultancy to active people participation, which is one big difference. So when I go up online and look quickly to see what the difference between in a consultancy, the process usually seek input or view from people before a decision get made, while active participation and more collaboration will involve actively engaging people in a decision-making process itself. So I want you to tell me, Breddah, how could Belizeans actively participate in a decision-making process and hold the state accountable for being transparent? If you could answer that.
Sure. First, I want to, on behalf of my now deceased dad, apologize to Ms. Perriott because I have the lived experience of my father, and I'm sure some of her apologies is coming from the trauma that he would have meted out on her during their work time. I say that candidly because I know how the man is, and I knew when you show yourself as a strong woman, he probably even go mix on cement. But I want to say I align with your views, Ms. Perriott, on the value of women in the workplace and the patriarchy that needs to just sit down a little bit and allow women to shine in the way that they should. Now, participation in our country's process, Sistah, I take it very personally. I feel a sense of duty and responsibility when people think I just like protests. I mean, I kind of do, but member Senate Upper House and 6 belong to the member Senate Upper House and 6 belong to the government and 7 are non-governmental actors.
Civil Trinidad. They actually just stopped a piece of legislation that the government tried to get it. The independent senators.
Right. So when the independent senators and the opposition are aligned on a particular issue, it has to cause the government to reflect. So that's a part of why I make sure that I try to align myself as best as possible with these movements. Now, how can Belizeans participate with these movements? Now, how can Belizeans participate, Sistah YaYa? I know that so how can you participate, Belizean citizens? It's as simple as when you're driving past the protest to blow your horn. It's as simple as making yourself available to show up, to assist whenever a rally is being held. Because when governments start to see numbers and track their judgment, but I want to encourage Belizeans to come out and support whenever you see these movements. I think that's where we are now, what people see. And as we're doing that, there are other avenues that, as a trade union, we're also doing. We're exploring the legal avenue. We are consulting with the attorneys to make sure that we know what our legal options are. We're doing the media, because they have a vested interest in this deal not going through. The media has been doing their part in highlighting the particular areas that need to be focused, like the work of the PUC, or I should say the lack of work of the PUC in the acquisition process, and calling them to task. So it's I hate using this term, but it really is a multi-pronged approach to applying pressure where it needs to be, and so in your small part, if you're a media house, the way you help is to keep bringing focus on it. If you're a lawyer, offer your legal services to the groups that could help. If you're a citizen, you know, the organizations tell you things to do, go in and pay $1 or go on top of pay shilling to your bill. Start to cost the company to print a receipt when you pay 25 cents to your bill. Start to do things like these little things add up, and that's the power of the people that will reflect and will cause them to pause and change some of these bad decisions that they're making. Because it's like the brother has said, it's really not just about profits, it's no longer about the people, and we need to walk that back.
Respect, we're just about out of time, so I'll give everybody 1 minute for no final thoughts. Brother Akko and be last. Sister Emily, Sister Christine, Brother Glenfield, and then Brother Akko. Final thoughts. Sister Emily, I might want to tell people how to stay in contact with the Belize Communication Workers for Justice group.
So I do, thanks, YaYa. I think that was what I wanted to close off with. We have other activities planned for the coming week. We have a very live Facebook page, and I always want to brag about it. We started the Facebook page 3 weeks ago. I checked, it's 165,000 views because we have created stories, we have put out events, we're trying to get this message out. It's so important for us. I will tell you guys that for me, it's so important that the younger workforce sees us doing this, because they have not seen it in 25 years, Christine. Like, they have not seen people standing up and protesting for something, for a right. They have not seen people come out and say, I'm not going to accept this deal that you want to do with this guy, Ashcroft, over there. They have not seen it, and I think that it's important for us to be doing these things, but also to get it to them through the mediums that they connect with. And so that's why we have really utilized, at this time we're using Facebook, and we're starting to put out things that will keep them informed. So that would be my last message. A lot of what is happening, we make sure that we capture it and we put it on our social media page. We want to get people informed. That's why we decided to be part of Sunday Review, because we wanted to have this conversation, have a more deeper conversation. And we want to connect. We want to connect all. If you guys notice, it's different generations of people we're representing. We represent, like, the people in that I am fighting for are a generation before me. Some of them, I never met them when they were at BTL. They're a generation before me. Then I have a generation that was there.
I forgot that I turned it off.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sister YaYa. Extending from what Emily is saying, we need that continuity, because, like myself, Emily is like my continuation to the struggle, and then Emily in turn has to do that to this generation and the next generation. But my last word is that those who are entrusted with the authority to make a difference act, because that's how social justice protection is preserved. And if you do nothing, then that's just how evil prevails. I call on the Prime Minister, I call on Honorable Karim Musa, this labor situation is under your portfolio, you have the authority under Section 4 Act. I call on all my sisters, come out in solidarity, support like what Brother Dennison is saying, because this is the only way we can make a difference instead of, to join in the struggle in any format that you can. That's
big thanks, sis. Brother Glenfield?
Our tagline is only the people can save the people. And I think never before is that more important than now. And if you don't believe me, you could just ask the people who are asking me, did you call the Prime Minister and tell him your opinion that the PUC is supposed to be doing what they're doing before BTL and Smart do? And I was like, no, I don't talk to the Prime Minister. He didn't call me. And I said, because he said exactly what you said when he talked about the pause. And the law was on our side, and I always want to highlight that once the law is on your side, once the Constitution is on your side, you can't fall wrong, And so I encourage people to make sure on this story you're on the right side of justice. That's my closing shot.
Thanks, Brother Glenfield. Brother Akko?
So I have quite a few things. I don't have enough time, but I'll say two things. And mainly to my two sisters. The Chinese say, women hold up half the sky. I repeat it, women hold up half the sky. This is an ancient Chinese saying, and is now used by the UN to promote women's rights. So you are part of the universe, and you hold up half of the universe. And always remember that, and teach your daughters and your sons that. Because part of the reason why we have these patriarchal tendencies is because, we have this statement Kwame Nkrumah used to make, which proved to be wrong. He said, seek ye first the political kingdom. So we have the politics, but we don't have the economic kingdom. And so moving forward as leaders, as people in struggle, we have to understand the importance of not just controlling the political kingdom, but also controlling the economic kingdom.
Respect, Brother Limec, for the knowledge you want to bring, for to stay true to the struggle, even though you're not living that beliefs anymore. And to Brother Glenfield, Dennison, where when you know say attorney not got a good name in enough away, mouth that believes. But you're one of the few. So I hope the rest of your attorney sister and brother then make an example that the mouth need to be in alignment with the action. So big respect, of course, Brother Akko Mutota, co-host Revolutionary. Big respect for your wisdom, for the framing of the conversation this morning as it relates to history, culture, the rights of workers in the Caribbean and the wider world. The show will repeat at 5:30 this evening for XTV, Belize local station. And then the security guard was Brother Shane Flowers here at XTV. The technical director, MCO, was our sister, Christy Flowers. And downstairs at Creme Radio, we had Brother Larry Gear, known as Larry G. And I just want to say, I tweaked the only the people could save the people after I had a reason with most some months ago to only organized people want to save the people. And clearly, BCWJ, that want organized, set of mature, wise people. And I'm really hopeful that this are the group of people where I lead we to the change we keep hope for say. So until next Sunday,